Stand by. Stand by. So, ishi analyst and right. Well, good afternoon and welcome again to Ngoni Stadium, the home of MWOS FC, right here in the heart of Norton. The home team is going to be taking on ZRP in a game that they're trying to redeem themselves with the new man, Lloyd Mtasa, having fallen down last week to Chinoi. They are going to come here again at home, looking for their second win at home. And obviously, I'm joined by Other today. We're also going to be looking at how things are proceeding in the game. Other, it's very wonderful to have you here to actually look at this game, which is looking to be a very wonderful encounter.
Thank you, Tenda. It's actually a pleasure to be here witnessing this encounter. Of course, MWOS FC taking on ZRP Harare FC. We are looking forward to have a thriller here. 3 points, of course, separating these two teams. Probably we are going to see a good game today, Tenda.
Okay, definitely. And fifth game of the season. We're just looking into this game and how it's going to end up. You talked about the points difference. You talked about MWOS being 8th and, ZRP being 13th. Just looking at that alone, the pressure the home team has, and also looking at the away team. Do you think there's a bit of pressure for both teams coming into this game?
Of course, there's a little bit of pressure coming from both teams, but of course, the home team with more pressure, and of course, the indications are that they changed the coach. That shows that they need this more than ZRP FC, of course. But of course, ZRP FC, the better team. Last weekend, managing to draw against the Rentals FC, and of course, MWOS lost to Noi Stars by 1-0. So they're playing at home today. They need to redeem themselves.
Definitely, and MWOS on the left side, dressing in white and red, or red and white rather, and the away team in all blue. Something exciting is the acquisition of Lloyd Mtasa, who is now the head coach, which then means that Wanda Ngoko has now become the first assistant. He's a man that knows his way around Zimbabwean football, once managing Dynamos at some point. Now he was with Green Fuel, he was relieved of his duties, and a week later he's now managing MWOS FC in their first game at home. Now, Arthur, looking at Lloyd Mtasa, what is he going to bring into this MWOS FC? They have the vast experience in terms of the young ones and the experienced players as Chris Samakwere, who's surprisingly also on the bench. And the gaffer talked about, being an impact player and saying the team needs someone of his stature. But him being the skipper, obviously questions were going to be to be raised. So that experience, looking at Lloyd, looking at what he's going to bring, what are we going to be expecting this season?
Of course, it's going to be a very interesting season for MWOS FC. Of course, Lloyd Mtasa coming in with a vast of experience. Remember, at one time he was in the Eastern region with Kiglon. He managed to get them promoted. He also was with Greenfields in the Eastern region. He managed to get them promoted. Of course, he's not new to the Northern region, having been with Flemlele before, where, of course, he started his career coming in from Sporting Lions back then. But of course, he has a task at the end today against ZRP FC, and you wait how it goes today.
Definitely. So we're going to look at how the squads line up, with one surprising absentee being Chris Samakwere, the veteran, who's on the bench. And in goal for MWOS, we have Blessing Mandemotsira, who's donning the number 16 jersey. And also in defense is Jordan Pedro. On his side is going to be Tafadzwa Nyabunzi. And also on that right side is going to be Tinai Gia, who's going to be taking on that right back position. We also have Masha Okamwashi, who's going to be wearing the jersey number 20. Clive Kwangwari, Lee Runodamobo, and Kudzai Juwawi, who was once the man of the match the last time they played at home. We're also going to be having Lunda Mufumisi, Arthur Banda, and Jeremiah Matangira, who's going to be leading that attack. And then the subs with Tawanda Dendera, Robson Chaleka, Noah Simango, Martin Nobu, Monashe Kadondo, Tyrone Matongere, and Chris Samakwere. And this is how ZRP is going to be lining up. And in goal we have Takunda Chitsa, Matsika Nomen, Musiro Nofa, Knowledge, Shesha Stephen, Nyemba Bright, Chivangwa Edwin, Ajana Trevor. We are talking about experience here, and Stila Tinashe, Mtiswa Archford, Mchongwe Lanson, and Mafume Shon, who's going to be waiting on that left side. So the kickoff is here, and Mo's begin with the ball, who are going to be playing from your right side of the screen up to your left side. It's going to be an exciting match, and this is something that we've been waiting for, the best of Northern Region Soccer League. We're actually seeing it, and it's being broadcasted live on 3K TV.
Of course, we'll wait to see how this one goes after the coming in, of course, of the veteran coach, and of course to the applaud of the Norton supporters. They're actually happy with his appointment. They wait to see if his appointment will live up to its billing.
Definitely, and they're also going to be looking at the match officials, Victor Piri being the main official, and Ndoro Chenai, who's also be the assistant official, Matthew Guvava, the assistant, and Poland Philip, who's going to be the match commissioner. So these are the guys that are going to be taking on this match, and we're just in the early minutes of the game, which is the first half, if you're just joining us. Crossing box. Moses still with the ball. Crossing box. And ZRP have managed to avert danger from that one, and they're with the ball on the counter charge. First minutes of the game, the clubs haven't really settled down, so you would see a lot of balls being played in the air rather than ball being played on the ground, Arthur.
Surely, yes, both teams are looking to settle, and of course, Mo's looking like they're playing 3 at the back with the 2 up front, and of course, 5 in the midfield. We'll wait to see how ZRP are playing as well, but it looks they've got a flat 4 at the back, Tendai.
Definitely. Clive Kwangwari, they just couldn't manage to get the ball. That was a crowd-field pass coming from Marshall Kangwashi, who's going to be operating in the midfield of the park for MWOS FC, and it's a ZRP throw-in. ZRP played long, but the MWOS defense managed to control that one. Composure from the back from MWOS FC. Their defense playing a passing game, something that we don't usually see in Zimbabwean football. Okay. And it's a throw-in for MWOS FC. First minutes of the game, the ball is still being played, and the defensive half for MWOS FC still trying to be patient with the ball, still trying to be patient with how they are playing, showing a little bit of casualty there, Arthur, and they lost the ball.
Yeah, surely, yes, losing that ball through casual from that young man, and probably gradual build-ups that we are seeing from MWOS today.
Well, for MWOS FC, the man, Tem Fire, who was once the man of the match in the last game, they played at home. He was showing some quality there for Wandangoko. But is he going to show the same signs of form and brilliance when, Lloyd Mtasa takes on this team forward? We're talking about experience there from Lloyd Mtasa. Are some of these players going to impress the new manager? It's something that we're still yet to see, Arthur, and how these players are going to look at him being a manager that has so much experience, and they're just thinking, we are young boys from Norton, and how are we going to fare under this new manager? Tidy exchanges from ZRP, but they seem to be losing the ball. Hurried play there, foot up, and it's a ZRP foul. first foul of the game. The goalkeepers at this time haven't been tested much. Such a waste, rather, that I would say probably tried to be ambitious there. That was an attempt from long range there for the ZRP defender. Hits it long. That's something that we've seen from ZRP. The way they've been hitting the long balls, is it the way they're trying to play, or they're just trying, they're not really finding it easy to manipulate the ball on the ground when they're playing this MWOS FC that seem to be passing it well, who seem to be intact and compact in the way they're defending?
Probably for ZRP is just a cushioning moments for them. Probably they don't want to concede early, so they're trying to push the ball upwards.
Definitely. And it's another foul, but this time in favor of MWOS FC. Are they going to try to take it long, ship it into the box, looking maybe for an attacker or a wide player that's going to ship it in, and definitely square it for a striker? The man to take it is Mashao Kawasu. No, he's actually leaving it for Jordan Pedro, the man wearing the number 5 jersey for MWOS FC. Ships it in goal. Right header. Definitely, that was blocked there by the ZRP defender. Such a beautiful cross that was met by a header, but unfortunately, they couldn't do anything after that. There was a collision there. That cross into the box, other looking at it, did they just need to do more, or there was just, brilliant defending? We've been talking about, you talked about ZRP not wanting to concede early, the way they were holding that fort down and the way that cross was sent into the box. Your thoughts on that, Ava?
Of course, quite an enticing cross inside the box there by MWOS FC, but of course the header wasn't that good enough, of course, to give any problems to ZRP FC defense there.
And another foul for ZRP. Growls from the home fans, the encouraging the away player to actually stand up and continue with the game. A long ball hit there for MWOS FC. Cross into the box, another header, but just manages to put it over the bar. And we have seen now the way that MWOS are trying to play. The second cross they put in the box, but unfortunately the finishing somehow is what they've been letting them down in these 2 attempts. Is this what we're going to be seeing as the game progresses? More of wide play, shipping in of crosses, looking for the target man?
Of course, we are likely to see more of that shifting out widely, bringing in those crosses. Of course, they have to be more clinical in front of those MWOS there.
Is it something of Lloyd Mtasa tactical approach that you definitely, as is his first weeks, his first game at home, will be trying to, say, go easy on the ball, try to do the basics, do not try to be fancy, just go for the basic, put it wide, put it into the box through crosses or whatever? Do you think that is going to be, his game plan, and as he's trying to build his style of play in this?
Surely he's looking more likely like that, because he's doing more of gradual build-ups, and each time they find space on the wings, they're trying to bring that ball to the wings for a cross to be deliberated in the box there.
And it's our first corner kick of the day, and it's been awarded to ZRP, the away team. They're going to be taking this corner, and the man in charge of that corner kick is going to be Ajana Trevor. No, sorry, it's going to be Lanson Mchongwe, and managed to be carried off by the defender there. Lanson just couldn't get hold of the ball. They tried to cross it in the first attempt, but the delivery wasn't just that good, and it's a MWOS FC throw-in. Mashao Kawashi seems to be getting comfortable as the game progresses there. Yeah, handball. And it's another free kick awarded to MWOS FC. Trying to play quick football, building it gradually, trying to feel the ball early, trying to catch the defense off guard there. And Naige is going to take this free kick. A cross into the box. Looking for a target man. Oh. Defender manages to carry it out. Oh, another foul there. Dangerous approach to the ball from the back. And we are going to be talking about this as the game progresses. I mean, the crosses, just look at how beautiful those crosses are. The way MWOS have been delivering those boxes to the cross. Seems like it's something that they've been working on this past week alone.
Surely, yes, like we have seen earlier, a good cross there inside the box, and of course, Jordan Pedro bringing in that drawback, but it did not take us in the box there.
Clef Kangwa with the ball, another beautiful cross into the box, but straight into the keeper's hands. And it's a testament of what we've been saying, that Lloyd Mtasa seems to have just told them, just feed the ball into the cross, one way or the other, you're just going to find a good one, and hopefully our striker is going to be at the end of that. And ZRP take it forward. Most of the ball for MWOS seems to be, for ZRP rather, seems to be playing on the left. Is it something that we're going to see the danger coming from? Is where most of the danger players are going to be there?
Of course, ironically, MWOS FC is also attacking on the right side, and of course, ZRP using the left side. So we are seeing much of the play on that particular side of the pitch there.
Definitely a foul for MWOS just at the edge of their defensive box there. And Tinai Gear, the man that was brought down. I'm just liking the way MWOS have adopted this, Barcelona type of play, maybe the Pep Guardiola type of play, encouraging their defenders to be comfortable on the ball. A cross into the box, and Lanson just couldn't get it there, and Gear manages to remove the ball. We were talking about the way MWOS have been playing from the back, showing a bit of comfortability, trusting the goalkeeper and the defenders as well.
Of course, one of those things we need to take note here, we have watched MWOS before, but I think Lloyd Samaita coming in with his philosophy of let pass the ball around. If an opportunity strikes in, let's utilize it. But we are seeing more of our passing today from MWOS FC.
A cross into the box here, that was headed away. And another second corner for ZRP. And Lanson Mochongwe is going to be taking that second corner kick. Hoping this time he's going to bring in a beautiful delivery. And hopefully MWOS they can catch MWOS off guard and find something there. Short corner played. Poor delivery there. I feel the manager is going to be disappointed with that one. Counter. Oh! Ref says play on. Kudzaya with the ball. Driving the ball forward. Plays it through to the MWOS left side. Short wide there. Beautiful play. The way they've managed to set that transition from their own defensive half through the midfield, using the likes of Kawashu and Kudzai from that midfield, the men that they've trusted in that midfield to orchestrate the ball there. After just looking at that, seems like Lloyd Mtasa, his imprint of football is really coming into play this first minutes of the first half.
Yeah, yes, we are seeing more of that. Of course, that Marshall trying to take it from that distance. We need more of that, more shots at goal and more attempts that to, of course, break that ZRP defense.
And Linde Mfumisi is the man that was brought down. Dangerous area to actually play the ball there. And Linde was trying to play it quick. And Kawashi standing behind the ball. Definitely they're going to be trying to look for another free kick that they're going to ship in the box. And definitely look for a target, man. Who's going to take that one? Kawashu, the man who's the skipper for the day, standing in for the veteran Chris Samakwere, who's on the bench. Stands looking forward to line it up as the ZRP set their defensive block there. standing in anticipation. Try to place it short. Takes a shot. That's blocked by the ZRP defender. Try to be smart there, and Lindo just couldn't do anything. And it's a throw-in for ZRP. They tried to be smart. They tried to catch, ZRP off guard, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them. Were they just trying to be too fancy with that one? Should they just go basic and just put the ball into the back of the net?
Of course, we thought they could have gone basic, but probably they thought they should do something different. They've been doing more of those set pieces before, so they tried to do a different one, I think, but it wasn't good enough.
Ball taken away from Kawashu there. And a foul for ZRP at a very dangerous area again. And the culprit there is Jordan Pedro, the man that brought that ZRP player there, and the medics are on the pitch. And surprisingly, it's Lanson, the man that has been causing so much problems on that left side for ZRP, is the man that has been brought down. And change of dynamics, they're changing the wing maybe.
Yeah, of course, Lakson Muchongwe, quite a tricky customer there. Formerly Black Members player. He has experience in Northern Region Division 1. Remember, Black Members is the police side as well. So most of the players that did not match on the first team that is in Black Members, they also find their way to ZRP FC. So as an experienced player, he is a tricky one for MWOS FC, particularly at the front there.
Well, talking about experience, we seem to have a lot of experienced players in the Division 1 football, and definitely this is where you get some of the players that have traded their talent at top level. And you're talking about a man that has played for Black Mambas as well, and is now trading his talent for ZRP. And I was talking to the coach earlier, and he says these guys are needed to actually, give that little bit of motivation to the young players, to show them the ropes. As he said, the coach's manager ends on the last day of training, and it seems like he's trusted these veteran players with this task. Takes a long one, and it was blocked by Gia there. Stolen by Jeremiah Makangire. Arthur Banda with the ball, still with the ball, running forward, and managed to be scattered out there by Mafumire Shwan. And Moose take this throw in. They play it short. Tricky skill there. And ZRP on the transition. Poor passes we've seen lately from ZRP. Tried to get the ball into the box. Unfortunately, he parries it into the goalkeeper's hands. But in every moments there for ZRP. Arthur.
Yeah, of course, that young man, what he wanted more was to be calm like never before, and of course lay it to his teammate. But of course he chose to be quick on it, and of course losing the momentum for the whole team there.
Well, Arthur, one thing that we've noticed is that as soon as Moors lose the ball, either it's a breakdown in play, the way they're quickly recovering, the way they're quickly getting the ball, is really exceptional. Something they've been working on the training ground. Plays it to Kudza on the right side, a cross, beautiful cross into the box. Unfortunately, no one finds it there. And it's a testament of what we've been saying, build patiently from the midfield, send the ball out wide, look for a cross. And we've seen it 2 times now in the last minutes of this game.
Surely, Tendai, maybe it's a moment of time before we see that one coming to fruition. And of course, a good play for Moors. They're playing it more wide where there's space, bringing in those crosses. Maybe it's a matter of time before we see that goal coming from a cross.
And we were talking about the way that Moors are quickly recovering the ball the moment they're losing it. And I was asking whether it's something they've been working on the training field, Arthur.
Yeah, they've been winning most of the second balls, MWOS and MWOS FC. Each time they lose the ball, they are the first one to come and collect it as well. They've been doing brilliant in terms of their recovery to go and collect that ball that would have lost.
Well, nothing has been impressing so far from the way ZRP have been playing. they're surely the away team, and MWOS FC have been playing like the home team. Tries to play a cross-field pass there. Fortunately, Kawashu with the ball. Lindon Fomis with the ball. But through ball, and the ref plays it offside. They've just been exceptional in the way they're shipping the ball from the midfield out wide. Their wide players seem to understand the mission at hand. They are always there in time. Unfortunately for this time around, when he was just a fraction too early, Lee Runo when the ball was played through on goal for him.
Surely, yes, Tendai, MWOS FC, I think they have got more numbers in the midfield. Each time they get the ball in the midfield, they look for that pass outside on the wide areas, and it is paying dividends in the wide areas. But what is left now is that effective cross inside the box for them to tap in or rather to head it home.
Wow, if you're just joining us, this is a game between the home team right here in Goni Stadium, MWOS FC against ZRP. ZRP, you managed to get a draw, to salvage a draw last week with a 1-1 draw against Rangers, and unfortunately MWOS lost to Chinhoyi. And then if you just look across the pitch, look across the field, the fans are also coming around. Seems like they're now giving the fans value for their money, Arthur.
Surely, yes, they are giving value for the fans for the money, but of course it's not enough until it hits the back of the net for the fans.
Definitely there. And Lindo Mapomis manages to bring out forward for the ZRP, for the ZRP throw in. Foul on the right side of the pitch, and the man brought down was Mafomiris one. Ajana Trevor to take that one. Opang to definitely whip it. And looking for the target man. Left-footed player there. Looking closely to lining up. And we were talking about experience. Brings it to the box. And safe into the keeper's hands. The keepers haven't had enough jobs to do in this first few minutes. Haven't been truffled. Beautiful exchanges there. Kawashu with the ball. Through ball on goal for Lee. Brings it back, and the ref lifts it for offside. Beautiful exchanges of football, 1-2 touches, neat exchanges just coming of the MWOS players are slowly growing into this game, showing a little bit of composure, showing a little bit of excitement. They're now enjoying the game, also with the question in mind, knowing that they have to put the ball in the back of the net. But such composure from this young team.
Yes, good composure from MWOS FC in terms of their passing, but I probably could have noticed something peculiar here. Tendai Lloyd Musasa hasn't really stand up to give instruction from the bench, but actually giving it to Wanda Gogo to give the instruction, playing let me watch from the bench today.
Definitely, he's just saying, Wanda Gogo, you've been here since the beginning of the season, so I'm just going to be looking at the way you're going to be doing things. And we were such observant. They are looking at the way things have been proceeding on that MWOS touchline. And talking about touchlines, it's probably one of the few teams in the Northern Region Division League that seems to be doing so well in maintaining their home ground. It's quite commendable, really.
Of course, you need to give credit to the owners of the MWOS.
And a mistake there. Almost taken away, and we have seen so much goals being scored as mistakes between miscommunication between the goalkeepers and the defenders in this league, Arthur.
Yeah, yes, we have seen more of that. But of course, if you look at the goalkeeper, he looked like nothing had really happened there. He had to tape it on a nice and easy routine there.
And they're trying to maintain his cool, but it would have been disappointing that the last home game they won, it was because of a defensive mistake. And for them also to concede in that manner, it would have been disappointing. A boot up there. And it's a foul, goes in favor of ZRP. ZRP have been struggling to really stamp their style of play in this game. The home team has really been good, both defensively and offensively, playing beautiful football in the midfield, thanks to the likes of Kudzai, who's wearing jersey number 60, and the skipper for today, Marshall Kawashu. They seem to be holding that fort down really well in the midfield, thus giving ZRP troubles to operate in that midfield. They've lost the ball. Plays it forward to Jeremiah. Jeremiah brings it back. A through ball. There. Chest it forward. It's a goal! What's happening there? Is it a side netting? Definitely from the angle you were sitting at, I would definitely think that goal, well, the ball was on goal, but unfortunately that was a side netting. Talking about Kudzai, the way he's been playing in that midfield, it's so exceptional and wonderful to see from this young side, Arthur.
Surely, yes. If this is something that have come from Lloyd Mtasa, the few days he has been here, we have more to see from Moses today. Brilliant football, brilliant movement from Moses in terms of their passing and of course utilizing those spaces. We are in for a good game, Tendai.
My, you just couldn't believe your eyes. From the angle we are watching this game from, you definitely think that was a goal.
Yes. Everyone was up, of course, in celebration. What a movement from Mos there. You definitely need to see a goal from such a movement.
And other, it was the first time they didn't go with the usual routine of trying to feed the ball from the wide players and cross it into the box. Ball played to Jeremiah, and he plays it forward. A bit of trickery there, shoots it and straight to the goalkeeper's hand. And we were talking about the confidence now. Players are now coming into a bit of confidence now, taking shots from range, as we just seen Arthur Banda do there.
Tendai, I think Mos FC, they are using those wide spaces. If there are no players that are coming from the midfield, the two strikers up the front, they are utilizing as well those wide spaces. So they've got different options. If the midfielders are not coming for the wide areas, the two strikers are taking charge of that area as well.
And a beautiful play there just to avert pressure. And as others you were saying, Mos are just finding it easier to manipulate the spaces in the midfield that are being left by ZRP there. They seem to not know who to mark, who to put the pressure on. And the moment they try to apply pressure, it is leaving gaps for Kawashu and Kudzai, who seems to be the roving midfielder in this game. And every time they try to build from the back, he's there. And every time they try to go forward, he's there, and he's causing such problems as you were just talking about. And it's still 0-0 right here at Ngoni Stadium. And the best bits of football we saw came in the last 2 minutes of the game, where beautiful play between Jeremiah there and Arthur. A through ball that was lobbed by Arthur. That was carried off at the side net. We almost thought it was a goal, but that's how proceedings stand in this game so far. 0-0 is how it stands at Ngoni Stadium. ZRP not causing problems, not having seen, the better part of the defensive third of Mos FC. And you were talking about, the way they are quickly recovering those balls. And as you can see, ZRP seem not to, are struggling to match the tempo, the rhythm, the pace and the power at which Mos is playing. Most of the time they're being caught flat-footed, this resulting in most of those breakaways, the through balls that are being played on the wide, being given to Jeremiah Makangire, the Elindo Mapfomise, and also Kudzashua, who's playing in the midfield. They just can't match the tempo and the rhythm of this brilliant Mos FC.
Surely, yes, it's giving all sorts of problems for ZRP FC. Probably because MWOS FC, they are playing with 5 midfielders. Each time they lose the ball, they are coming in numbers in the middle of the park there. And each time they win that ball, they will allow 2 of their players to move in those wide areas. So they will have more numbers in the middle of the park there, giving them a better position to collect those second ball, to collect those loose balls from ZRP FC.
And they Kudzai Joaki just getting a little bit of information from the touchline. He was just getting a bottle of water. Machiswa Archford with the ball, and it's been brought down. Is it a foul? Ref says play on. The Archford is still on the ground. The Archford Mtiswa. It was hoping for the ref to probably call in for the foul. If it's in the box, a penalty. Now they may be just trying to find a little bit of flag, as it seems they've been failing to pass the ball, even to have a decent run of passes, strings of passes, even a through ball on goal. Now they may be looking for a penalty, and then the ref just say, you know, that was a soft foul, get up and continue with play.
Maybe the referee was closer to the action. Maybe he saw otherwise, and of course, deciding to ignore that call from that young man from ZRP FC. But we haven't seen much from ZRP FC, and more of pressure coming from MWOS FC with those interchange of play, movement, and of course those crosses that are coming in from the left and the right side for MWOS FC.
Almost 30 minutes played in this encounter at Ngoni Stadium. Scoreline still reads 0-0, with MWOS FC, the home team, being the better side. Plays a ball and goal there. And it's a first corner kick for MWOS. It has taken them 30 minutes, almost half an hour of football to get their first corner kick, Arthur.
Yes. First corner kick for MWOS FC, but of course they've been piling more pressure for MWOS FC since the beginning of the match. Of course, coming in with those crosses, and probably we'll wait to see how this set piece will go about.
And as the saying goes, if you keep on knocking, eventually your door will open, and this is going to be the time that the door opens for MWOS FC. A corner brings it forward, the keeper parries it away. Did so there to cut the cross and actually parried it away.
Yes, good goalkeeping from that ZRP FC goalkeeper there, Takunda.
Lindo Mufumisi with the ball. Try to cross in, and Lindo still with the ball. Lindo with the ball, and it's brought down forward. Beautiful tackle there. And I have signals for offside. Now seems like a lot of ZRP players are now falling down, and definitely looking at their name, you definitely think that this will be the physical guys in this game. But you know, just judging from the way we're looking at things, seems like MWOS FC has the better, physically built guys.
Yeah, surely, yes, we need to see more of physical play coming from ZRP, but of course, it's the other way around here at Tendai.
Goalkeeper sends it long. Taken away. Gia with the ball again, sends it forward. It's now seems like it's a game of tennis. The other way, it's being hit forward, and it comes a beautiful play there. Sends it forward again on goal. Is he going to get the ball? He managed to get the ball. Jeremiah crosses it into the box. Is it going to find a player? He sends it forward. No one there to receive the ball. And most players crying for a handball there, but it was just outside the pitch. The quick transitions that we're seeing from MWOS FC The other time they are defending, the next time you see them, they are about to cross the ball into the back of the net, and they've been doing it so well.
Yeah, they've been doing it so well. Probably what is left now is that how they are finishing those crosses, how they take those crosses each time they are coming inside the box. That's been the major challenge for MWOS FC.
Another ball sent forward for Jeremiah Makangere, who's still in order of the ball. Exchanges it, Jeremiah again. Just couldn't find Kawashu. And frustration the building from Muchongwe Ladson. It hasn't been going well for them in this first 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, sure, Les. I think he need to reserve more of his energy in the field of play.
Kudzai brings it down nicely. Kudzai with the ball, sends it. Kudzai still with the ball. Kawashu with the ball, takes a long shot, but it was blocked there. And they've been crying cries that there are two balls on the field, and the issue has been managed.
And of course, sometimes it's a matter of is the object in the field of play, is it interfering with the play, or you choose to ignore that one. So it's a matter of choice from the referee. You could have chosen to play whether the ball was interfering with play.
Most of the cries were coming out from ZRP, just trying to take the steam away from MWOS FC there. It's not a goal. That was a beautiful through ball. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but just couldn't find the feet of Kudzai, who was right there in space.
Yeah, of course, it looked not more like an intentional, but of course, in the box, you need those strikers that are always alert and always that picks those loose balls.
And if you're going to be looking at heat maps, it seems like Kudzai Shuwaki is the player who has seen most of the pitch in the MWOS FC. Sometimes you find him in the box as the lone striker, sometimes it's the midfielder. He seems to be doing everything in this game.
Yeah, he has been playing a good role in that midfield of the pack for MWOS FC. That's Kudzai, probably playing box to box. He's sometimes at the front, sometimes you find himself in that middle of the pack doing the defensive role.
And another foul, and it goes in favor of MWOS. And it looks again like the captain, the skipper there, is going to line this one up, is setting the ball, and Marshall Kawasu is going to be taking the ball. They are together with Linda Fumisi. Those are the guys that are standing behind the ball. What are they going to do? The first time they had a foul of this nature, they tried to play it smart, they tried to be intricate with it. Short into the goal. Oh, and the keeper just manages to save this one. Seems too deep as it was reaching the goal. The other, maybe it wasn't too much power on it, but just something to keep.
Yeah.
Just something to keep the keeper busy there.
Yeah, probably as well. The second shot on target for MWOS FC there. We need to see more of that for MWOS FC to break that ZRP defense.
Another short corner.
Goes.
Cross into the box. No one to find it. MWOS are still with the ball there. Linda Mafumsi with the ball, and it's been defended. ZRP did so well there to just keep the pressure away from their defensive third. And we've been talking about all those attempts, the way we've been seeing MWOS approach, that final third, but they haven't done so much with only 2 attempts on goal.
Yeah, 2 attempts at goal, but of course you also need to applaud that ZRP goalkeeper in Takunda. He seems to be very good in the air, and he has been doing well with those crosses in the air.
And the goalkeeper that's been applauded by other, they seems to be down. maybe didn't land well when that free kick shot came in from the skipper, Masha Kawasu. And as things stand on the table, MWOS are sitting on 8th, and only 3 points separating them from ZRP, who are also 13th. This is the 5th game of game week 5 of the Northern Region Division. Such an exciting league. And we're talking about the number of sponsors, even the fans that come into these games. It seems like there's something that they're just doing so well that is managing to give people, the fans and the players as well, and the stakeholders, value for their money.
And of course, you need to applaud MWOS World of Sport, our football club, for bringing football in Norton, for bringing football close to the people. You can witness, or rather you can see it from the magnitude of fans that are coming in to witness this match, and some of them, of course, on top of their roofs, are watching over the Jura or the Tendai. That's the beauty of football.
Definitely, that's the beauty of football. No matter where you're watching it, as long as you're watching it. And a bit of trickery there, but unfortunately, Jeremiah just couldn't do anything there to just make sure that he keeps the hold of the ball. Lee with the ball, tried to lob it Kudzai, but unfortunately couldn't find its target. And just looking at this MWOS number 11, it would seem like he's wearing his own different kit there, with the tight overlapping with the tights. Something that's really interesting to see, that, you know, everyone has red socks on and from the tights, and the fourth official seems to just have corrected them there.
Yeah, of course, you have to give credit to the assistant referee, seeing they are normal there, of course, correcting the player to dress so well.
I mean, players at this stage of the game, they're supposed to know the basic principles and the basic rules of how you're supposed to conduct yourself, be dressing, but the way you talk or the way you apply yourself in the game. And to see that a player almost playing 45 minutes with a tight on top of his socks, it was really disappointing. Cross into the box, and it's been defended. The ref blows it for offside. Could have played it for an advantage.
Of course, it's very interesting from MWOS FC how they've been operating in this first half, choosing to leave 3 at the back against the 2 for ZRP. Each time they are defending. Of course, the other 5 coming in numbers to defend.
Lee with the ball. Kawashu again, beautiful 1-2 passes, and he's been brought down. They seem to be getting their free kicks definitely in the same position. Something you would think that it's been scripted, the way they've just been winning fouls at the same exact spot. Something that reminds you of the Manchester City player Jack Grealish, who always manages to find his fouls, his free kicks in the same position, giving an advantage to his attacking team.
Surely, yes. I think what MWOS need to do now is probably utilize those set pieces. They've been playing brilliant football, utilizing those spaces in wide areas. But of course, the crosses not been good enough to give them a go. I think they need to break that with a set piece. If they can manage to get a goal from set pieces, their play will equally probably bring to fruition.
And the skipper, they are trying to line it up for the 3rd time. And we have seen that Kudzai has also joined the list. Linda Mufomis is also there. It's going to be interesting who strikes this one. And Linda with a rugby conversion there. The home fans are not impressed at all with the way that he hurriedly took that one. Could have taken his time, but maybe he was just trying to build the defense, the wall, and the goalkeeper off guard.
Surely, it looked poor the moment it left. Of course, it left boot there poor. It's one of those chances you need to take to task Tendai at this level of the game.
It looks like, the manager, Lloyd Mtasa, is going to have a lot to talk about in terms of converting those chances that they've been creating. Because if they don't utilize them, usually football is a funny way of, punishing those that don't take their chances.
Yeah, that's how football sometimes is cruel like that. You don't take your chances. Maybe ZRP FC will come in the second half. You have one chance, and it will be as good as over.
Well, this is the first time in almost 10 minutes that we've seen the ball being played in the defensive third of MWOS. It's just been MWOS FC applying pressure, and ZRP seem to haven't found the solution to keep this pressure at bay. Another offside. For a team that's not really passing the ball, the amount of offsides that ZRP is conceding is just awful. I mean, it's not impressive.
But of course, you need to applaud ZRP defense. They've done brilliantly well under those threats that they'll be coming from MWOS FC throughout this first half. The back four for ZRP and of course the goalkeeper have managed to stood their ground.
Gia with the ball being played by the goalkeeper, taken by ZRP. Lanson with the ball, beautiful chest to control the ball down, looking for options, crosses into the box, beautiful play by the striker, and he shoots it wide. Probably one of the first attempts at goal we have seen from ZRP, and the 40 minutes that have been played are something that's not really impressive. It seems like Joe, the ZRP head coach, is going to have a lot to talk about, and there's a 15 minutes break that is about to approach.
Surely, of course, ZRP have got more to talk about there, and of course, not taking away as well from MWOS FC. They need to come up with a strategy so that they can break that defense for ZRP FC. But for ZRP FC, he has been defending throughout the day, probably fatigue as well, trying to creep in to some of their experienced players in Muchongwe there, and we hope in the second half they'll be able to manage their energy level so that they can finish this 90 minutes.
Definitely first attempted goal, and it was an off target from ZRP in the 41 minutes that have been played at Ngoni Stadium, the home of MWOS FC, a club that seems to be doing very well on and off the pitch, as you can see from the technical staff's bench, even the way the pitch is being managed, and the number of sponsors that have brought in to support the game, and also the fans that are coming in to watch the game. It has been really impressive on and off the pitch. What's really lacking, and that's the end of the first half. After this, sorry, we were thinking it's 41 minutes, but it's 45 minutes played, and we go into the halftime. It's still 0-0. Your thoughts on the first 45 minutes, Arthur?
Our first 45 minutes has been, we managed to see brilliant football from MWOS FC. Of course, we have watched them before, but today we are seeing a different game, good passing movement from MWOS FC. Those crosses, of course, they need to come in with a strategy to take in those crosses. But of course, you need to applaud ZRP FC. They've been defending throughout the first half. You need to applaud their goalkeeper. Has been doing very well in terms of the crosses that have been coming from MWOS FC. And we'll wait to see how it goes in the second half. But brilliant football from MWOS FC. Brilliant defending, of course, from ZRP FC.
Definitely. And then other than just looking at the number of shots that have been taken by MWOS, considering the amount of ball they've had, only 3. And quickly before we go into the break, what does it say in terms of what Ngoko once said, that we don't have strikers in the market in this time around?
I think they just need someone with an eye for a goal. Each time you found a space, you need to take a shot at goal. We need to see more of those shots at goal in the second half.
Definitely. So that was the first half. 0-0 is how it stands, and we're going to go into the half-time break. We come again to give you the best of sport and the best of commentary. So please don't go anywhere. And we're almost back for the second half. Still standing as 0-0 between this beautiful encounter. And they're just waiting for the match official to blow it to begin the second half. First half ended in a 0-0 draw. And MWOS FC had the better part of the ball, the lion's share rather of the ball. And we are going to see ZRP kick off this one, and they're going to start off the proceedings. And the ref blows it, and we are back. Are we going to see anything different from the second half between these two beautiful teams that have been playing good football?
We'll wait to see how both coaches have choose to play it in the second half. And of course, it's more work for ZRP FC, and of course, more work for MWOS FC for them to score a goal here at home.
No changes made in the first half or from the second half, from the first half break. The players still the same, no changes at all. And they're just going to be looking at how the first minutes of the second half are going to play out, and how we are going to be seeing this game as it progresses. Second half still starting slow, still trying to get a bit of rhythm in both the players. Sometimes that 15 minutes break really takes out the sting from the players, and it takes time for them to really find out how they really want to play as they come for the second half.
Yeah, yes, it probably takes time for them to settle, but of course the team that is going to settle early, of course, will gain the momentum for the game today.
Definitely. And cross inner. ZRP, the first one they've had in a very long time, but wasn't good. Didn't even reach the intended target, and just goes on to show what we've been saying in the first half, that they seem to be rushing their play. They don't know really what to do. And if you're just joining us, this is a game between the home team, MWOS FC, playing against ZRP, and stand 0-0. Cross into the box, and still in the danger area. Pass to Clive back to gets it to the target, falls down. Take that long range shoot there, Nyabunzi. Now MWOS starting off from where they've left off, but a hard shoot there from the defender Clive Nyabunzi. That shot alone and that moment that could have brought a bit of nervousness into ZRP defense, but unfortunately that couldn't result in anything. MWOS now starting to do what they've been doing in the first half.
Yeah, of course, there's a continuous from MWOS FC. What they've been doing in the first half are using those wide areas. We have seen, of course, doing that as well. But of course, ZRP FC will try to attack from that end.
Wow, Lanson there with the ball, tried to bring it into the box, but couldn't do anything that he wished he could have done. And both goalkeepers haven't been troubled enough. Haven't seen these goalkeepers making saves. Not, no shots in the box have been made, except maybe from a few long-range free kicks that were taken. A push there.
That was a clear foul there. I think for ZRP FC, they've come in, of course, with maintaining their flat four, and those two strikers are up the field there, and of course with the four midfielders. And MWOS FC is sticking to their guns, 3 at the back, 5 in the midfield, and 2 up front. In terms of the formation, no much of changes from both teams. We'll wait to see how the style of play will be more in this second half.
Well, what do you think the two managers, especially MWOS FC manager, the new manager Lloyd Mtasa, and his assistant, Wanda Ngoko, say to this players that you've been playing very good football, but you haven't been giving us the goals. What do you think he said to our team at half time?
Probably for MWOS FC it was we are good the way we are playing, let's go there and continue to play the same way. Probably let's look for a goal. But I see they are we are looking, they are at the bench there, there are something happening there. There are substitutes that are just warming up. Hopefully there's going to be some technical or tactical changes from the MWOS bench. And for ZRP FC Harare, of course they've maintained their stance that they've been doing in the first half. It's the same statement, let's go in there and defend, and probably let's try to get them on the break.
Okay, and seems like they're still trying to play from the back, understanding that most are the better side and they're just playing the defensive game here. Clive with the ball. Sends it to Lee Dombo. Plays the ball forward to Arthur Banda. Beautiful exchanges between Lee. Crosses into the box, but it was defended for a corner kick. We're starting to see the wide play we have been seeing from MWOS FC, those crosses, trying to utilize those crosses, bring a little bit of dynamism from the box, from the wide play.
Yeah, surely, yes, I would see that probably what's happening. Lee Rudano Mambo from MWOS FC has been adding more numbers in that.
A bit of scuffle there, but the defense just managed to do so well and clearing off the danger. The keeper just couldn't manage to hold the ball, and it was a moment of maybe edginess there from ZRP. Crossfield pass, beautifully taken down. Cross into the box. Could it find a target? Definitely not. You just see the beauty in the deliveries that are being made by MWOS FC there, and it seems like they've changed their approach into how they play the game. And that number 11, Lee Runoda Mobo, has just gone backward, and it seems like he's now occupying that left back position.
Yes, Tendai, but probably want you to notice each time they are moving forward, the Lee will come in as a midfielder, adding more numbers in the midfielder, making them 5. And each time they defend, he's the first one to go back as well to add the numbers at the back to make them 4. So probably a more of a tactical indications from MWOS FC there in the Lee coming with that new role.
And interestingly, Lee Rodamobo has just taken off his tight and is now playing without his white tights that he was putting on in the first half.
Yes. We wait to see if that change is going to help him.
Movement on the ZRP bench, trying to bring in a player, trying to bring on that has been doing very well, or rather it's just a change in the football boots for Sadika, for Ajana Trevo. Something wrong with his boots?
Yeah, of course, maybe Trevor Ajani just changing his pair of shoes there. Something wrong with his boots as well. We hope he's bringing in his scoring boots there tender.
Definitely, you need a little bit of luck, and it's not really forbidden to try all avenues to make sure that you end up with a goal at the end of the day.
So the veteran Chris Samakwere warming up there for MWOS FC Tendai. Probably it's time for him to come in. Wait to see how that one goes as well.
Well, Lloyd Mtasa talked about impact players, and it could be one of those players that could come in and change the dynamic of the game. So we're just going to look at how this veteran, surprisingly one of the few people in Africa that have managed to play against Real Madrid, such a profile for a player that is, Zimbabwean, Arthur.
Surely, yes, you need to give all the credit to Chris Samakwere. He is most of the senior player in this.
A little bit of stop in play there. And play commences. Tafads Nyabunzi takes it forward. Defended there beautifully. Nyabunzi still scuffling with the ball. Defended well by Lee Runodamobo there. I mean, it's the first time we've seen some exchanges from ZRP, and this whole game seems like they're really trying to take another approach into this game, Arthur. Kawashu, the man that has been orchestrating in the midfield. Gia with a vertical pass, trying to look for Kudzi. Ball into the box. Just couldn't do so much. It's a penalty. It's brought down into the edge of the box, and the ref points to the sport. It's a penalty. The man brought down there is Lindo Mufumisi, the man that has been causing so much problems on the right side, and they couldn't just do anything to stop that attack. Beautiful crosses like we were talking about, Arthur, and this time they were knocking and they found the sports kick.
Surely, yes, like we highlighted earlier on, that Lee Runoda Dombo coming in as the fifth midfielder in the ZRP's half, bringing in that elusive cross inside the box, of course, leading to that penalty. Of course, you need to utilize those set pieces on a day when you are not taking your chances during play.
Definitely. And it's the skipper that's standing in for Chris Samakwere that's going to be taking the penalty, and that's Marshall Kawashu, the number 20. And the skipper of the team just standing in on the touchline, watching proceedings from the game, from the touchline rather. Kawashu to take, and sends the keeper wrong side, and he scores. He makes it 1-0 for MWOS FC after a beautiful run of play, and he was brought down in the box. Mufumisi and Kawashu brings it home for MWOS FC. 1-0 is how it stands at Ngoni Stadium.
Of course, the captain taking on that way, you need that leadership from a captain under these circumstances. When you are not scoring during the play, the captain taking the initiative to take that one. You need that leadership, you need that quality at this level of the game. I think he did justice as the leader of the team to bring that goal for MWOS FC.
Definitely, and experience about to come in. Chris Samakwere about to get on the pitch, and we were talking about the way ZRP have been defending the better part of the game, and at this hour they just defended too well, and it was just unfortunate that it resulted in a penalty. Arthur, stay too much in a defensive third, and something is definitely going to come in, aren't you?
And of course, with the way that MWOS has been playing throughout the day, more pressure for the ZRP's FC defense. One or the other, they were bound to succumb to that pressure as well. But I think you also need to give credit to them. They've been defending well throughout the day. But of course, for MWOS FC, you need to utilize those set pieces when you are not scoring during the play.
Definitely, and that substitution that was made by MWOS, it was Chris Samakwere who comes in for Linde Mufumisi, and surprisingly he hasn't taken his armband. Could it be a change in fortunes for Chris Samakwere there, because he hasn't taken the armband from Kawashu there, Arthur?
I'll wait to see how it goes, because Kuda Kwashe, the standing in captain for today. He's playing with passion. He's playing with that zeal. He has the leadership qualities in him. He's taking the game into his hands. We could see the leadership qualities in him, the control of the team in him. He's equally a good leader in him as well.
Definitely, and a game that was exciting since the first minute. It was just lacking goals, and a goal that came in form of a penalty scored there by Kawashu, the man who's a skipper, has just given the fans at home a reason to celebrate, and it seems like it's going to add the tempo to a game that has been already beautiful. Sends it forward. Beautiful exchanges from ZRP. Looking forward to bring it into the box. Sends a long one in. Just gonna fire. Tries to go beautiful. And it's an offside. Is it? Handball. This is what the official says. ZRP tried to go beautifully there with a bicycle kick there. Do you think there was a time to go fancy, considering they are looking for a goal to level things up, Arthur?
I think they are looking for a goal to level things here. They've been defending throughout the day. Now they've conceded. Now they are saying, look, guys, we have conceded. Let's play our normal game. Let's attack these guys.
Well, it seems like they've added a bit of passing to their game now. Maybe they were just waiting for MWOS to score that one, and then it could mean that, the game is now much open. Both teams are no longer defensive. Now that they have conceded, are they now going to say, you know what, we still have nothing to defend? Let's go all out and maybe try to cause some problems there.
Surely, yes, we will wait to see
Takes a shot.
how that one will go.
Definitely. ZRP still with the ball. Sends another one into the box. It is looking for a forward, and it finds no one. Now ZRP are playing with intent, and Lanson just there showing his passion, but he just overdid his passion, and that ended in a foul.
Well, Tendai, we are now seeing an open match here where ZRP CFC have now moved out of their shell, trying as well to attack. But of course, these are the moments, of course, that can be dangerous to them as well in trying, of course, to move from that shell, and they might as well consider another one.
Definitely, and the atmosphere in Ngoni Stadium is actually accelerated. It is actually taken a notch higher. Things are now heating up, even from the fans, even from the players as well. Some fans singing that they weren't singing, they're now singing, showing how game has been progressing. Jeremiah with the ball. Cross sends into the box. Keeper parries it away. Kutsi with the ball. Beautiful flick. Still with the ball. Is he going to cross it in? Looks for Kawashu there. Beautiful controls it. Unfortunately, it was defended. It's now an end-to-end game. The moment MWOS attack, ZRP defend, they also attack. Arthur with the ball. Good sends it to Rundamobo, sends it back into the box. This time it was a weak delivery for a man that has been doing well in terms of crosses the whole game. Offside from the ref. Blew that too early, don't you think, Arthur?
Yeah, maybe I trailed for that, but of course you would say Muchongwe, typical of him. Of course he was clearly in an offside position, but of course running to the referee to give some reapproval, or rather saying no, I wasn't offside on that occasion. But I want you to notice Tendayo, number 2 for MWOS FC, that is in Takuzwa Nyaguzi, has been doing a brilliant job for MWOS FC, coming in, playing in the defensive role, doing well at the back. He has been winning some good balls for MWOS FC.
Definitely. Tinaya Gia sends it back to the goalkeeper. We had so much to do there. Blessing Umandu Mutsira. Gia. Well, Arthur, since coming on, the veteran Chris Makwere hasn't had much to do. Don't think he has even seen better part of the ball yet.
Yet he has to hold the ball at the moment, but I think he came in when the momentum he had just stepped up.
Definitely. Talk about influence, talk about experience, adding momentum without even having much of the ball. Jeremiah with the ball. Beautiful exchanges, cross into the box. Finds no one. Kudzi there with the ball. He dribbles with the ball. Takes one. They just couldn't do so much with the ball. Sends it back. Maybe he could have gone in for a shot. Maybe tried to square it to Jeremiah, who was crying for the ball there, Arthur.
Abo Harare quite shy on the goal there. He chose to turn, probably playing it backwards. But I thought otherwise he could have just crossed the ball into that 6-yard box for some of his teammates to tap that ball home.
Definitely. And still with the ball, MWOS crosses into the box. But just couldn't do so much. The chances are now coming in for MWOS, and the ref blew that for offside. I mean, it's not going to take so much time until we see MWOS scoring another one if it continues with the same momentum here, Arthur.
Surely, yes, if they continue this momentum, they will score another one. But in a striker inside the box, you don't control the ball in that area, Atendai. You just tap that ball home. No time to control, tap that ball home.
Well, things are definitely getting heated up at the Ngoni Stadium, with the MWOS stepping it a gear up, and Kudzi with the ball squares it into the gap to Chris Samakwere. Just couldn't do so much to hold the ball. So much talent from young Shuwaki there. Beautiful exchanges. Through pass on goal. Lost the ball there, Jeremiah, at a very crucial time. Just shows you how interesting this game has become. Kawashu. Nyabunze sends it forward to Lee Runadamobo. Kawashu supports play. Brings it back to Jordan Pedro, who sends it forward. Sadika Tinashi still with the ball, crosses the ball into the box, and unfortunately it goes out wide. They haven't done so much. The deliveries have been poor, Arthur. You just can't commend one thing that they've done in this game, especially the deliveries into the box.
I think is in ZRP, they're just playing a better teams in MWOS today. MWOS, they are doing everything that is good for this beautiful game of football. They are controlling the game, they are controlling the momentum, they are upping the tempo when they need to do it. When they need to slow them down, they are doing such to that. So it became a tall order for ZRP to match this one. But we wait to see how it goes.
Definitely, and 2 substitutions to be made by ZRP. The man coming off is number 21, Mutiswa Archford, who's been replaced by number 14, the Kwerengwe Kundai, and also number 20 that is also coming for ZRP. That's Chiweta Felix. I see a change in tactics probably. We've seen that have brought in a defender. And probably a right forward in that game. Are they trying to go all out now, as they've seen that MWOS are now playing with intent, with passion, with rhythm, with speed?
I'll wait to see how that one goes, but they look like more that substitution made by ZRPC are more like strikers, and we wait to see how they're going to
stole the ball there, the substitute. Crosses the ball, holds the first time, takes a shot, and it's a goal for ZRP rather. And it's the substitute, Chiweta Felix, who levels the scores there. Oh my. Defensive blunder there from a player that has been doing so well for MWOS. Just couldn't see the substitute coming in, and it's Felix that has leveled up the goal scores at Ngoni Stadium right there. 1-1 is how it stands. Other beautiful football there. Just took their chances and scored that one.
Exactly, probably the first shot on target, getting the goal, and of course the first touch from the young man that just came in, that is Felix Stewart, scoring that beauty. We are now in for a game here, Tendai, with ZRP scoring the brilliant goal, good movement from the two substitutes. We are in for a game, Tendai.
Wow, the way Chiweta controlled the ball into the box, that was beautiful controlling, and then managed to beat a defender and putting it at the back of the net. That was exciting football. We are surely in for a beautiful game of football right here at Ngoni Stadium. With the way MWOS had been playing, we definitely have thought that the team. And it's on goal, and it's offside. Lanson offside. It seems like MWOS are now leaving Gapes at the back. They're trying to attack with all their numbers, and it seems like they're just leaving back Gapes at that defense, Arthur.
Yes, but I think ZRPC coming in with probably a tactical change, of course, bringing in one more striker for ZRPC there, and the MWOS are defending with three defenders, remember, so it's now 3 versus 3 for at the back for MWOS there.
Now Jeremiah playing with a bit of heart there, probably realizing that they could have scored maybe 2 or 3 goals before ZRP had equalized. Well, you were talking about influencing the game. Seems like the veteran Samakwere hasn't done so much rather than just motivating the guys to play the best football. But haven't seen him trying to, make those passes that he usually does, trying to influence the game and make those runs that he usually does. And Victor Piri, they're just having a word with the ZRP head coach, and they shake hands to show that agreement. Maybe it was a scuffle there between what the head coach had said on the touchline. Long throw in there by MWOS, defended, and goes on for a corner kick rather. Other goalkeeper there for MWOS, Blessing Mandimutsira, didn't have so much to do, and the first shot that actually came to him on target resulted in a goal.
Yes, probably inactivity for too much at the back there costed him as well. But of course, like we said, when the ZRP FC conceded that goal, they moved out of their shell and decided to go to look for an equalizer, and exactly that they did. And the way to see, are they going to revert to the original position of defending so that they can force a draw?
Corner kick. Samakwere just couldn't find his men there. Seems to be having problems settling into the game. Now looking at the substitution, Arthur, he took off a man that was doing so well on that right side, Lindo Mfumisi, probably changing tactics. But was it supposed to happen that way? Or maybe he was just trying to put in a bit of experience, trying to calm the game. But seems like it hasn't worked so far since Samakwere has been in.
Surely, yes, it hasn't really worked very well. Maybe probably it's an issue of player management. Remember, he's the captain of the team. You can afford to ignore him on a first day of work.
Oh, definitely. Now, ZRP playing with confidence, and they've won another corner kick, which means it's their third corner of the game, the first one in the second half. Robson Chaleka seems to be moving on the touchline. Could be another change that is brought in by Lloyd Mtasa. Corner kick brought in. Atabanda brought down, dangerous tackle there from the captain.
Probably I need to note the two substitutes for ZRP FC. They've come in with a little bit of pace. These guys may be a little bit of a challenge for MWOS defense, but they've got good pace. These two youngsters that have just come in, that is in Chiweta Felix, and of course with Kundai Pengwerengwe coming in with a pace at the back there for MWOS FC, giving all sorts of troubles for MWOS FC.
Definitely, and just looking at the way Chiweta Felix is playing, he seems to be hugging the center line, definitely playing as a lone striker there, now trying to, change the dynamics in which MWOS had been defending the better part of the game. Tonight gear to take. Cross it to the back of the box. ZRP could counter this one. With the ball. And two substitutions about to be made by MWOS FC. Robson Chaleka there together with Martin Nubu to be brought in. Probably Martin Nubu, a man that operates on the left side, is going to be brought on for MWOS FC. Tonight, Tafazwa Nyabunzi has been the culprit that has been taking shots, and another darting right into the box, and it's offside. Just look at the problems that Chiweta Felix has caused since coming on. I mean, you could actually think these are the impact subs that we were talking about. That has been impressive from the two substitutes since they've come on.
Of course, you need to applaud the ZRP technical bench for such an impact, probably one of the best tactical substitutions that they've made today, bringing in those two strikers that are causing all sorts of problems for MWOS defense there, with coming in with a more of pace at the front. But I also probably also need to notice that ZRP FC have managed to control the midfield in this second half, probably making sure that MWOS FC are not going to play more in that midfield like they were doing in the first half.
And the man that comes off is Clive Kwangwari, and also Jeremiah Makangiri is the man that is also coming off. Unfortunately, they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and in the last minutes that he was on the pitch, he was now playing with a bit of frustration, and probably is the reason why he has been brought off.
Of course, he had a good game in Jeremiah. He was having a good game as well. Of course, maybe it's the issue of tactical changes as they look for that that goal.
Robson Chaleka has taken the right side of the pitch. Chiweta Felix, bit of trickery there. Pass couldn't find anyone. Face touch for Robson Chaleka. Chris Makwere has been surprisingly poor since coming on. Robson to take the free kick, the throw in rather. Nyabonze, Robson, Gia with a crossfield pass. Beautiful chest by Bono. Bono still with the ball. Kudzi seems to have miscued the ball there, and goes on for a throw in. That's a MWOS throw in. Nyabonze with the ball. Finds no one. The long pass from Nyabonze. Liru Damobo has been surprisingly quiet there. Bono with the ball. Trying to find Shawaku there. Who's plays it on goal for Bono. And just went inches wide of the goal there. And we were just talking about the man that has been operating on the left side. You're talking about Lee Runodamombo, the other. He had been quiet ever since they've conceded that goal.
Surely, of course, he has been quiet since they have considered that goal. Of course, you need to give applause to ZRP FC. They managed to block those wide areas where all sort of problem has been coming from in terms of them defending those crosses. So they've managed to block that side where Lee was operating from, and of course controlling the midfield with the ZRP captain at the back, managing to marshalling his defense very well in this part of the second half.
Definitely, and it seems like the lone striker for MWOS FC is now Arthur Banda is now operating on the in the shoulder of the last defender there. 33 minutes played at Ngoni Stadium, and the second half. 1-1 is how the score stand. Robson Chaleka passes another fast man there. Still with the ball, Chaleka. And Felix is just there too. And he's been jostled for the ball, which in then becomes a goal kick. That darting run on the right side, something to give the fans something to cheer about.
Yes, of course, young men are doing that wide run on this right side of the pitch. But of course, you need to notice that ZRP CFC leaving one man at the front there. Of course, they are the remaining players coming to join the midfield. But each time they win the ball, the two guys from the midfield with pace, the two substitutions are causing all sorts of problems.
Definitely, and we are applauding how Felix has been phenomenal going forward, but he's also helping with some defensive duties there. The two substitutes playing with a bit of intent, a bit of trickery from Kwerengwe Kunda, Arthur Banda. Chris Aka chose the hard option to play towards the line. Flicks it and no one was there. And Chiwangwa Edwin plays it outside. And it's a throw in for MWOS. Lanston with the ball. Ref doesn't blow for offside. Plays it to Kundai. Tries to beat one, but unfortunately gets into the block there. Bono. Chris Samakwere plays it 1-2. Bono with the ball. He beats one. Bono still with the ball. Crosses into the box. No one's there. Beautiful run of play that couldn't just be met with anything. Cross by Runodamombo, header by Bunandi from offside. Samakwere seems to be now coming alive into this game as we saw Bono being introduced into this game as a wide player, Arthur.
Of course, yeah, we are now in the critical phases of this game. We are almost into 90 minutes. Probably we'll see more of game management from ZRP CFC so that they can force a draw here. And of course, more attack from MWOS FC. But of course, you need to applaud ZRP FC. They've moved out of their shell. We are now seeing the real ZRP FC in. Of course, the coming in of the two substitutes, number 20, number 14, causing all sorts of problems with the pace that they brought in this second half.
Well, are we going to see the likes of Tyrone Matongerere come on today as we're in the critical stages of the game? Remember, he came in that one-win victory against Banket and was really doing well on the left side of that midfield. And considering that, MWOS are looking for a goal, are we going to see the youngster coming into this game today, Arthur?
Of course, I will wait to see, but of course, you are playing at home. You need to throw all the dices that you have so that you get that 3 points at home. And we wait to see how it goes here at Tendai.
Well, ZRP seem to be the team that is done well in the last stages of the game. Almost 38 minutes played in the second half, which means they're reaching the last stages of the game. Lanson. And Lanson is down. That's a head injury there. And some signs of fair play from the MWOS technical bench. They know how critical a head injury is, and they're assisting the player despite of the color he's wearing. An applaud for FIFA fair play there, Arthur.
And of course, a good gesture from MWOS medical team there, attending to that player as well. As we see another change from MWOS, and we wait to see how tactical it is.
Well, another substitution about to come in. And the man that has been in form the whole game, doing so well, Kudzai Shuwaki, is the man that comes off in the last stages of the game. Such a beautiful display of football from the youngster, Arthur.
Yes, he had a brilliant game today, the youngster. Maybe he has been doing well for most of the games for MWOS FC. Of course, calling a day for today.
It was a pound-for-pound substitution, bringing another midfielder for another. And Lansford goes forward with the ball, tries to beat one, still with the ball, tries to take a short, defended there. ZRP still with the ball. Could have been a foul, and Raif plays an advantage and is actually blown it. Samakwere seems to just be having a hard time there since coming on. Seems like everything that he's trying is not just becoming successful. Not a good day in office for the veteran.
Of course, yes, we are now in the critical phases of this game. Good game management from both sides is equally important in this moment of time. Of course, frustration will creep in at this moment. Of course, coming in from the home team, they need the 3 points as well. But for ZRP, we will say so far we are good as we are, and we will continue to defend in this manner as we see a yellow card coming in for to the veteran, that is Chris Samakwere there. But we'll wait to see how this game is going to end in this last 10 minutes of the game.
And it's the first yellow card of the game, and it has come to the substitute, the veteran Chris Samakwere, the man that gets under the booking for the first time in this game. It has been disappointing for him, rather.
Yeah,
rather the third yellow card, and you've seen that it hasn't been going well for the veteran this game.
Surely not much of the impact, just like these opposite substitutions that have come in with the major impact for them, not much from the veteran, but of course maybe playing a role in his presence in that field of play to the other youngsters. So wait to see how this one goes in this last phases of this match, but of course you need to applaud ZRP FC for a good second half, or rather a good response after that goal.
And the player has been escorted by the medical staff. The man that was in collision with Chris Samakwere, we are talking about number 25, Musiringofa. Captain to take the free kick and sends it out for a goal kick. Ball looking for Bunu. Emotions seem to be rising there as we're in the last stages of the game. People playing with art, and we're seeing 2 more substitutions about to be brought on by ZRP. And it's Lanson that makes way. Muchongwe Lanson makes way for number 19. Monuakari Albert. And also Pakamisa Romero also to come on. And he gets his yellow card, trying to take a bit of time. Maybe the team is now fighting for a draw.
And of course, the veteran in Muchongwe being substituted there, he had a good game as well. But of course, that yellow card wasn't necessary for him after such a good day. And we come in as well. We see Romeo Pakamisa, of course, the young brother to Washington Pakamisa, the former Cape United striker, former Dynamo striker in the PSO there. So wait to see, is he as good as his brother? Wait to see there.
Last minutes of the game, a throw in by MWOS, a long one from Robson Chaleka. Another foul in favor of ZRP Harare Football Club. And it's the skipper to send it forward, Sheshe Stephen. Goalkeeper is down, Takunda.
Of course, Tendai, is it a matter of game management? Is it a matter of saying, no, we need to slow down things there, we need to frustrate them from the goalkeeper there? We have seen this mostly from the goalkeepers doing this. We had, of course, quite of noise from the game in the PSA where the Cranbourne goalkeeper was being judged to have, of course, they have been delayed the match throughout the game. That was Cranbourne against Dynamos. And is it the same here with ZRP FC, a goalkeeper in this critical phases of the game? We'll wait to see. But such has been happening in the game of football where goalkeepers choose to manage the game usually as the game ends.
Definitely, we talked to Shaw before the game, and he was talking that we are not yet further into the season, and says, you know, the way he's sitting, number 13 is not bad, and considering they've come away, they said, you know, a point or even 3 points could be good, and it just looks like that point is what they're just fighting for, trying to take the steam away from MWOS, who are just now trying to attack in the last minutes of the game.
And of course, yes, like we said probably earlier in the game, that nothing much separating this both teams, where 3 points were separating them, and probably it's proving to be like that. They are probably in the same range of play, and we wait to see how it goes.
Well, another cross to be brought into the box, but it was defended there. Well, MWOS FC are going to be going home as the most disappointed side if this then goes as a draw. And the goalkeeper has just gone down again. Getting interesting here in the last stages of the game. Almost 45 minutes played, and the goalkeeper is just going down, trying to take the steam. As we see, the crosses were just about to come from Lee Runonda Mobo, who had been phenomenal operating on that left side, and the keeper just decided to go down again.
No, surely, yes, we wonder, is it intentional or probably there is a need for medical care there. But I think it would be rather wise, if you want to go down, you go down when you are in possession of the ball, rather to go down when your team is being attacked. It also brings a loss of concentration even to your team, because remember, it's MWOS FC that are in possession of the ball. So they will start in attack, probably you lose concentration at that particular time.
Definitely. And MWOS just waiting to throw in that throw-in, sending to resume play. And goalkeeper Chitsa Takunda is still receiving medical attention. The throw-in has changed hands. It looks like Robson Chaleka is going to be taking that one. Probably the man with the strong arms is going to send it all the way into the box. looking for a miracle in those last minutes of the game. Chita back on his feet, seems to be limping. Whether it's a real injury or not, he only knows. Long throw into the box, defended. ZRP restricted from countering. Chris Makwere with the ball. Just couldn't do enough with the ball there. Robson Chaleka sends it back to Mandu Mutsira. Lee Rundamobo sends it forward. Just too long for Bunu to manage. And Chita is down on the ground again. The fans are no longer happy by his antics. It looks like he's trying to delay and waste time as best as he can, just to give ZRP that draw, that 1 point. It won't be a bad result if they go home with 1 point away from home.
Actually, yes, Tendai, remember this is a police outfit. It's now looking more like a race or drill that has been done before.
Well, we're talking about drills. It's something they have done over and over again, considering they've been away from home. The fans are agitated, the home fans. And calls from the bench that, Lloyd Mtasa shouldn't be blamed for this draw.
But of course, football being football, he's now the man in charge now. And of course, in football, the blame always goes to the head coach.
Probably an additional time now. And that's it. Ref blows a final whistle. 1-1 is how it ends at Ngoni Stadium. The home team MWOS FC 1 and ZRP 1. Goal scored from a penalty kick from the man that was operating in the midfield. Not talking about number 20 Marshall Kawasu and the substitute number 20 Chiweta Felix, who managed to level scores at Ngoni Stadium. Such a beautiful game. ZRP came alive in the second half, and 1-1 is how it ends. Spoils shared at Ngoni Stadium.
Of course, shared the sport at Ngoni Stadium. ZRP coming live after conceding that goal, choosing to play pound for pound with, of course, MWOS FC, bringing in 5 players in the middle of the park, same as MWOS has been playing. Disappointing faces coming from the MWOS bench there, but we had a game today. We had a good game today, Tendai, and the way to see from the.
Yeah, definitely. We just at the end of the game, beautiful game that was well officiated, and nothing that was out of the ordinary that we saw. Such a beautiful game between MWOS and ZRP Harare rather. And just looking into the game, Arthur, your thoughts coming into the second half? Well, in the first half, it ended in a draw, but we came into the second half. MWOS got an early goal through a penalty. So much work was being done in the books, but later ZRP just managed to come back, got out of the shell, and managed to come back. Your thoughts on that second half?
I think ZRPC came here with the intention that they really needed that draw. And of course, when they considered from that set piece, that is the penalty, they decided to move from the shell and of course showing the world, showing them Norton fans what they are made of course making sure that they play pound for pound with MWOS FC, bringing the equal numbers in that midfield, of course, in the second half, of course, adding more numbers in the play. Of course, the 2 substitutions, yet they've got a good effect in terms of bringing that pace, bringing that movement up front, of course, with the veteran in Muchongwe bringing in, of course, that experience up front there. But good game from ZRPC, good response from ZRPC. Disappointing for MWOS FC, disappointing for Lady Mtasa, his first game, but we had a good game on our hands today.
Definitely, and then talking about substitutions today, it seems like ZRP manager, rather head coach Joe, did the his tactical work very good, and the introduction of Chris Samakwere for MWOS just didn't cut it for MWOS today.
Of course, the introduction of the veteran Chris Samakwere didn't give enough for MWOS FC. They're probably quite more off of the player management. Remember, he's the captain of the team. He brought in probably the Kete score just to manage the players well, but not much of a different that he brought in today in Chris Samakwere. Disappointing as well for MWOS FC. But like I said before, we need to give credit to ZRP FC coach in Joe. He did brilliant in the second half.
Definitely, as I'm about to round up, Arthur, your overall thoughts are going forward on this game. ZRP still 3 points separating them. What can we really say about these two teams as we are going forward?
I think these two teams, they need to work more. There is much different from the top team. We don't know how Ngezi played today, but there is about 8 points that separated them from the log leader, that is Ngezi FC. I think they will end in the middle table. For MWOS FC, they are ambitious. They need to step up more.
Definitely. So that was our analyst of the day. We were giving you commentary as well. So we were giving a bit of analysis, and now we are going to be talking to the home team manager, Coach Aloyd Mtasa. So he's going to be joining us as we come in for an interview. Coach, first game of the day. Unfortunately, you didn't go with a win. Your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think having scored first, I think we could have consolidated the lead. But I think we conceded a goal that we could have easily dealt with. But such as football, this is my first game, and we hope to correct the mistakes going forward.
Definitely, and for a team that had so much of the ball, you had the better part of the ball in the first half and in the second half, but that was not the same on paper as we saw the shots that MWOS managed to take on target. Is it a problem if having strikers that are not really finishing off those chances?
Yeah, I think we need to polish up the strike force. We need to polish up our last pass, and probably the crosses getting into the box, and probably playing to passes to the advantage of our teammates. We ended up having some long balls which were easily dealt by the opposition, but it's work in progress. We go back to the dressing room and work on it.
Definitely, and still 3 points separating you between ZRP and your team. You're obviously looking forward. You want to get those points, you want to get those wins. And looking at the players that you saw in your first home game, have you been impressed with some of the players that you have seen today play?
Yeah, obviously, for MWOS to be where it is today, we have good players in our ranks. Some of the players are good, some are coming up, some are still youngsters. They still need to learn one or two things as we go forward, but they are coachable. We will see as we go forward.
Definitely. So that was Coach Aloyd Mtasa for MWOS FC coming off with a 1-0 draw. He says they could have done more to consolidate and kept the lead, but unfortunately 1-1 is how it ends for the game. Thank you, Coach, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Definitely. So that's how the game ended, and we're talking to Aloyd Mtasa. We just said they could have done more to keep the lead. Now we're going to be talking to head coach for ZRP. You said before the game a point away would be okay, but you would definitely be fighting for 3 points. But at the end of the day, you managed to salvage a draw.
Yeah, that was basic. I think it's a good result for us. It was a game of two halves. In the first half, they overran us, and we decided to change tactically. They are back three, and I put two strikers so that we can match them up. And the result, I think I'm happy, I'm satisfied.
Definitely. You said it was a game of two halves. They did the best part in the first half. For them, they couldn't get the goals. But you looked at that back three. You brought in two forwards. Felix definitely doing good on that left, and he came out with the goal. Tactically, was that what you had intended to do, bring in impact players in the second half?
What I wanted to do was to just put some fast players. You see the two players that I put, number 14, number 20. They are fast and young players, so I brought energy into it. I know they are defenders, they have no pace and so forth. By any chance, we could have 2 or 3 goals in the second half.
Definitely, and going away or back home with a point, is it something that you'd be look at saying, you know what, it's better than nothing?
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Because coming here, I will respect the project that is being done here. It's satisfactory. But coming here and you get a point, I'm satisfied. Considering that they've got a very experienced coach whom I respect, I think that is good for us.
Definitely.
as new entries into the division.
Okay, thank you, Coach. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
Definitely. So he says it's not hurt by coming out with the point. It has been an impressive game of two halves with MWOS overrunning ZRP in the first half, and then ZRP managing to change tactically, managing to level up scores from substitute Felix Stewart. So that is how the game ended, and we're just talking to the two managers. So we keep on bringing you the best of live football and exciting games right here on 3K Sport, the best of Zimbabwe. So please keep on watching the best of Zimbabwe. Until next time, we say goodbye.